Daddy, should I make you...
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta Braves baseball. Along with John Sterling, this is Ernie Johnson speaking to you from Olympic Stadium in Montreal, where tonight is game 2 of a 3-game set with the Montreal Expos. The Expos won here last night. The Padres keep the heat on the Braves. They beat the Cubs this afternoon. The Braves have lost 4 out of 5 since the All-Star break, and John, we've got to start doing something. One significant move, Dale Murphy's not starting.
That's right. Dale has had a terrible time in his last 2 games. I think he struck out 7 times in his last 9 at-bats. Brad Kamensk is going to play center field, and you're right, Ernie, the Braves really have to get it going. If they lose tonight, the Braves, they would fall 10 behind in the loss column. So they've got to start going if they want to catch San Diego.
And another note on Murphy is the fact that he will be in the ball game somewhere because he has 424 consecutive games going. We'll be back with the starting lineups right after the stop.
All right, here's the lineup that Rick Mailer will face. Tim Raines leads off in center field. Pete Rose bats second at first base. Andre Dawson hitting third in right field. Gary Carter, the catcher, batting fourth. As you look at Yuppie, hitting fifth, the left fielder Mike Stenhouse, batting sixth. At third base, Tim Wallach. The shortstop, Darrell Thomas, who made that good tag, bats seventh. Hitting eighth, the second baseman Doug Flynn. And pitching and batting ninth will be Bryn Smith.
Raines leads it off. He's a switch hitter. Mailer with one of the leading ERAs in the National League. In fact, he's third. His ERA 2.30. Dravecki leads 2.09, and Alejandro Pena is second. His ERA 2.26. That's well hit, but Royce is going to throw him out. A nice play by Jerry Royster, backhanding that ball. One away.
Ball gets out there fast, and as you know, Tim Raines can run as well as anyone. Royster makes a nice backhand stab.
Rose did not hit in game 1. He went 0 for 4. He has 4,052 hits, and he needs 139 to tie Ty Cobb. Pete's going to be a daddy this fall. His new bride is expecting. Paper said he was going to name if the baby was a boy, he was going to name him Ty, but I don't know about that.
I read that and I believed it. I don't know why. That he was going to name Tyrus Raymond after Ty Cobb.
You might.
That's okay. I just hope he doesn't have a girl and name her that.
He's gotten 62 hits this year. He's up there for the 13,264th time in the major leagues. That's a number of bats. He leads in that department. Some people are happy to get one at bat in the majors. He's been now in 3,325 games, and he leads in that. And that is going to be out number 2. So Royster takes care of Raines and Rose, and now Andre Dawson. Hubbard's out of there with a slight hamstring pull. Murphy out of there because of a batting slump, and he needs a day off anyway, but he'll make it into this ball game somehow, late perhaps, either as a pinch hitter or, as you take a look at Hub, or going in for defensive purposes. Murphy didn't get much of a break in the All-Star 3-day off. He played the whole 9 innings. That's hit high into the air out towards center. Kamensk. And Mailer has a very easy inning, as did Smith. 1, 2, 3. We go to the second. There's no score. Thanks for joining us. Young man with a mustache is last night's winning pitcher, Dan Schatzeder. Boy, did a great job. He came out of that bullpen and pitched into the 9th inning. Carter will lead it off. 7-time All-Star Gary Carter, who came up as an outfielder. He leads the National League in RBIs with 64. Does not seem possible. Joe Torre's 44. First time I met Joseph, he was 16. He was a chubby little rascal in high school. Used to work out with the Milwaukee Braves at Ebbets Field, shag balls, and brother Frank, of course, was on the team. One thing about Joe, ever since I've known him, he's had to shave. Black
three times a day.
I tell you, he's at 5 o'clock shadow forever. I'll hear about that. 3-0. Nixon coaching at third. And Philippe Alou at first. That's a strike. Three and one. Good fastball. Mailer with a fastball, curve, and slider, and changes speed very well on his curveball. There's Philippe Alou, who played for the Braves for several seasons. Yeah, one year he had 17 home runs, and there was no one on any of them. 17 solo home runs. There's a little pop. Let's see if anybody can catch it. Comments does. Brad Comments can run.
Now this ball stays up, man, so Brad runs in under it, but he can really run. He can make a lot more difficult plays than that.
Stenhouse is a batter with a 6-game hitting streak. He knocked in a run last night with a double. Right to Chambliss. Boy, you can't hit it any harder. A line drive that Chris caught. This one is hit right on the button, and Chambliss grabbed it. One thing about Stenhouse, you don't know where he's going to hit the ball. He pulled that one last night. His double was in left center. Here's Tim Wallach. 260 for the year with 14 homers, 46 RBIs. Mailer's retired 5 in a row. Strike called. That might have been a knuckleball, and Oberkfell throws him out. Looked like a knuckler. He's mixed that in on occasion. We go to the third. No score from Olympic Stadium. Rick Mailer, who swings the bat quite well for a pitcher. He has 10 hits, 2 RBIs. Down low. Up by Dow Maxwell, who's not going to touch it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Our tryout camps are just about at an end, but we have a couple more. Fouled away. Tomorrow the tryout camp is at Parker Field in Richmond, Virginia. That's where the Richmond Braves play. And July 19th, the VA Medical Hospital Field at Salem, Roanoke, Virginia. And July 20th and 21st, West Virginia State College, Charleston, West Virginia. Tryouts will start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Off the pitcher. Out to third. Safe at first. Let's see how Smith is. Boy, that was a bullet right off his leg. They're going to check him out. I think he's going to be all right. And in fact, he's telling the trainer to go on back to the dugout.
Well, we'll see a replay of it and see exactly where it hits, Brent. Ernie mentioned that Mailer has really hit very well this year, 10 for 31, and hits right off the shin. Boy, that hurts. Ooh. However, I'm sure he'll be okay. Mailer beats it out for a base hit, his 11th hit of the year, and the Braves have a runner at first with 1 out. That hit right off the shin bone, and down went Bryn Smith. I guess they're spraying the ethyl chloride on, kind of freeze it, make it numb. They're doing just that. But he should be okay.
Mailer will be at first with one down. The Dodgers are playing at Pittsburgh tonight. There's no score after 1.5 Pena against De Leon. A nice hand for Brent Smith. Cincinnati 1-0 over Philadelphia. Carlton versus Price at Cincinnati. They've played 2. In the first of 2, Cleveland at Kansas City. It's a 6-4 game. Cleveland, bottom of the 5th. Heaton against Gura. Castillo a home run. Here's Raffy. Ramirez flied to left first time up. Takes the strike. Minnesota at Baltimore. They played an inning and a half. Viola against McGregor. No score. In Texas at New York. Yet to get underway. It'll be Huff versus Phil Niekro in the battle of the knuckleball pitchers. Line to center. Going to be in for a base hit. So Ramirez follows Mailer's single with one of his own. And the Braves have runners at first and second. One down for Jerry Royster. Atlanta's 4-6 against Montreal this year. There you see Dal Maxville letting Mailer know there's one down. High into the air behind third. Will it stay in the ballpark? It's foul. And it's going to be caught by Wallach. A nice play by the Expo third baseman. Royster fouls to third. Runners stay at first and second. And Claudell Washington, who singled the first time up, will come to the plate. Two on and two out. Claudell was caught stealing in the first inning. He's now 12-6 in that department. He's stolen 12 times, been caught 6. 0-1. Same 2 clubs tomorrow night, same time. Then Thursday will be in Atlanta against the Philadelphia Phillies. We're back for the 4-game set starting Thursday. Friday night's game will be on national TV. And Saturday afternoon will also be national TV. Oh and 2. Wasted a fastball high. Now the 1-2. Got him with a let up. Might have been the palm ball. Tomorrow night's pitchers, there's Bill Gullickson on your left and Pascual Perez sitting alongside Dale Murphy. Gullickson 6-6, Perez 9-4. Thomas leads it off. He'll be followed by Flynn and then Smith. When Thomas is given a start, he's performed very well. In 15 starts, batted .392. Most of the time, he's inserted late in a ball game. Two and out. I don't want to say Bill Verdon is superstitious, but the Expos won 3 out of 4 from Cincinnati. They won here last night. In the last 5 games, around the 7th inning, he takes Rose out of the game, puts Stenhouse at first, Salazar short, and Thomas goes to left field. He's done that 5 straight games.
Also proves he's been winning in those 5 games to do that.
Yes, he won. He lost just 1 game. That was Sunday. 3-1. Strike call, 3-2. Not all ball players are superstitious. Not all people are superstitious, but many are. Athletes have all kinds of superstition. Won't step on the chalk line. Won't change sweatshirts. Won't change socks. I don't care much for that one. They sit in the same spot on the bus or the plane or bench. They pass the coach on the same side going from the mound. All kinds. There's a base hit to left. Well, Thomas proves once again that you give me a chance to start, I'll hit. He had 1 hit last night. He's now picked up the first hit off Mailer tonight. I think it was Pete Maravich that when he was in his prime very seldom changed socks. He wore those same old baggy socks.
What he did, though, was use them over other socks that hopefully he changed regularly. But he did have that old floppy gray socks showing. You know, this is where the Expos scored last night. Again, Thomas got on. Last night it was on a walk, and he came around to score.
Doug Flynn and the 1-0. Fouled off to the right. Smith is on deck. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Atlanta with 3 hits. The Expos with 1. Very chummy down the left field line here in the right field line. It's only 325. In the alleys, it's 375. Dead center, 123 meters or 404 feet. Expos still pushing for the 1 million mark in attendance. They hit 900,000 last night. Mailer with a 1-1. Just missed. 2-1. Flynn's a former New York Met and Texas Ranger. Believes Cincinnati Red too. Two balls and a strike. Now they start their chicken. Every time you throw over there, one appears on the matrix board with a squawk. Runner going. Base hit left on a hit and run. That wakes up the Montreal fans. You can hear them when the Expos rally. Perfect hit and run. They send a runner. Raffy comes over to cover. And the ball is hit right through the hole. Now Bryn Smith. First and third and nobody out. Smith at 0.97. He had 1 RBI. Bill Verdon may have him bunt here and try to get the runner to second. We'll see. When they do that, the runner at hole third will stay there, but he was not bunting on that pitch. He's taking a good hard look at Russ Nixon, who wants to make it perfectly clear what he wants done. 0-1. He's squaring the bunt. He does, and he gets the runner to second base. The reason they do that is invariably the pitcher will hit into a double play and take you right out of it. Really hurt you. So now they have a runner at second, one at third for Tim Raines, who's a good hitter. Raines bounced to second first time up. Raines with 30 stolen bases this year in 31 attempts. He has stolen 276 in his career out of 318 attempts, and that's incredible. Fran Tarkenton. Raines, who is a switch hitter, drives a ball to left. Harper got it on a great catch. The run will score, but what a catch by Terry Harper. It's a sac fly, but it could have been a lot worse. He took a double and 2 runs away. A great catch by Terry Harper.
Well, there's no question Terry is a tremendous outfielder. Ernie, not only did he take a sure double away from Raines and another run from the Expos, but if Harper misses the ball and it goes by him, Raines could have circled the bases, and he is fast enough to do just that. Tremendous catch by Terry. You see the runner tagging up. That's Darryl Thomas. So the same combination in the same inning gets a run for the Expos, puts them ahead like they did last night. Fine play by Terry Harper.
43-year-old Pete Rose is the batter. 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 1 today, and he takes low. A great catch by Harper. Now the 1-0. That is low and away. 2-0. Dawson on deck. Expo fans clamoring for a base hit and another run. Flynn is at second base. And a 2-0 hit foul up by third. This organist is great. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the clapping starts. Mailer trying to get out of it with only 1 run scoring. Fouled away. 2-2. Rose in his 22nd year in the major leagues. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Slow curve, and he got him. Boy, that slow, tantalizing curve, and Rose is a strikeout victim. So Mailer gets out of it in pretty good shape. Expos pick up a run on 2 hits, strand 1. We go to the 4th inning. It's 1-0.
Rick Mailer pitches to the Hawk, Andre Dawson, and the fastball is up high, ball 1. Like Rick Camp last night, Mailer pitching well. In fact, Rick Mailer has pitched great all year long. His ERA 2.3. He's lost games like 2-1 and 1-0. That slow curve for a strike, 1-1. Dawson fly to center his first time. Montreal leads at 1-0. I'll tell you something Joe Torre said in the privacy of his office to Skip and myself tonight in just a moment. Pitches up high. We're talking about San Diego winning today. The Braves have lost, I think, 16 of their last 24, which is an awful record. And he said, if you believe you're out of it, he said, you are out of it. And he said, we've got to keep the spirits of this team up. There's a slow curve for a strike. And he mentioned about the Braves a couple of years ago, and it looked like they had it won. That went that terrible streak. There you see Joe and Gibby. Down Maxville, Joe Pignatano. He said it can turn around. Obviously, the Braves are going to have to run off a streak like 16-8 instead of 8-16 soon. Fastball after the slow curves. Mailer busted a fastball in the outside corner. That's good pitching. Second strikeout for Mailer, second in a row. One away here in the bottom of the fourth. And Gary Carter. Braves also have another opportunity. They play San Diego a bunch of games, including a 4-game series in Atlanta. And then the Braves are going to have to win those games. Lanny Harris talking to the Expo bench, who obviously did not like the last call against Dawson. Although the pitch looked like a strike. Here's the power guy, Gary Carter, and he takes a curveball for a strike. It's really amazing how much Rick Mailer has progressed in the past year. He spent last year, you look at Dawson down at Richmond all year, really did not have a great year there. He has become the most consistent starter for the Braves. That curve a little low, 1-1. Well, anyway, you can talk about schedules, home, away, doubleheaders. The key is, will the Braves get it together and start winning a whole bunch of games? That they have to do on their own. Royster had him played perfectly. And there are 2 down here in the fourth. Oh. Before we get out of this inning, I have a couple of special birthdays. Sometimes we don't get our mail on time. I don't go to the office or we're away, so these birthdays are late, but Bess Estes in Columbus, Georgia, great Braves fan, was 90 years old July 11th. And we wish Miss Estes a very happy birthday. Here's Mike Stenhouse with 2 away. Also a gentleman named Holy McDaniel, who lives in a town whose name I'm really going to butcher, Weehawken, Florida, was 89 years old July 14th, never misses a Braves game, so happy birthday to both Mr. McDaniel and Miss Estes. And also Bradley Thomas is here from Powell, Tennessee, and says hello to all the good people in Powell. Two and one on Stenhouse, who ripped a line drive right into Chambliss mid his first time. It's 1-0 Montreal. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Count evens at 2-2. As Ernie said, Joe's going to be 44. He feels 89 or 90 right now, but a couple of wins will straighten that out. The 2-2. A slow curve was down low, so the count's gone full on Stenhouse. Tim Wallach awaits on deck. The Braves have 3 hits. Montreal has 2, but Montreal has the only run as they put their hits together. Stenhouse walks. That's the first walk given up by Rick. And now here's Tim Wallach with 2 down and Stenhouse at first. Stenhouse really not much of a base stealing threat.
Bob Korch brings over the information. The last time Dale Murphy did not play a game was September 25th, 1981.
Breaking ball for a strike. Well, he's going to play tonight. Joe told us for sure. He said, "Oh, there's Dale.
Is
going to play as a pinch hitter or defensive replacement." And then Torrey said, "I hope it's a defensive replacement. That means we'll be ahead late." Now, Merv wants to play. He's just,
he
just
gets
having
antsy
a tough time.
He gets antsy on the bench. He wants in there.
The 0-2 is bounce foul. Yeah, Ernie, you mentioned something before that Murph didn't get a lot of rest playing all 9 innings in the All-Star game. He also flew 3,000 miles out and 3,000 miles back. And the odd thing is he had that great All-Star game with a home run, a single, and a walk. Has had trouble getting started since. The 0-2. And Mailer just wastes the fastball outside.
Murphy's very conscientious, as we all know, and he feels that if he doesn't get his hits, he's letting the club down, and it really gets to him after a while.
Slow curve time again. Strikeout number 3 for Mailer as he gets Wallach waffling at that curve. No runs, no hits. 1 left for Montreal. End of 4, 1-0 Expos. It's tied up right now. It was 2-0 Texas. They scored 2 in the first. Ken Griffey has homered in the bottom of the second with a man on, so that game is tied at 2-2 in the bottom of the second. Rick Mailer tattooed Bryn Smith's shin his first time up for a base hit. One nothing Montreal, 2 outs, top of the 5th. And soon to be 3 outs. Dawson. No, it drops between Dawson and Raines. There goes Mailer to second. Will he make it? Yes. How do you like that? Alphonse Gaston between 2 of the closest buddies in the world, Andre Dawson and Timmy Raines. And they let it drop between them, flat between them. They were no more than a step apart.
Well, look at it again. This is Raines on your left, Dawson on your right, and the ball in the middle, and it should be a double. Mailer made second base.
Isn't that amazing? It is a double. They have to rule it a double.
Dick Young was a big advocate of making that a team error.
Yes.
No,
and that's a good
ball
point.
should have been caught by somebody and just make it a team error.
There's a strike to Ramirez. Braves get some break. Now they have Rafi up there, and a base hit ties the game. Oh, and 2 as Ramirez missed the breaking ball. You know, you could see 2 guys who don't know each other getting their signals crossed. Now, Dawson and Raines are just inseparable. I think Tim Raines named his son after Andre Dawson. The 0-2 is grounded weakly. Smith will have to cover just in time. They'll score that one 4-1, and the Braves again come up empty. No runs on a hit. They leave 1. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, it is Montreal 1, the Braves nothing.
Well, we're really ripping that ball, aren't we? I got everyone. Pete Van Weer and Skip Carey with you. Unfortunately, the status still quo. And Montreal on top 1-0. The lower end of their order will bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Thomas, Flynn, and the pitcher Smith. A lot of Braves fans here tonight. Kelly and Ross Soger from Duluth, Minnesota. Brad Meyer looking in down in Miami, Florida. We hope he gets well soon. The Rexach family from Puerto Rico here rooting for the Braves. Thomas singled to left and scored the only run of the game his first time. That's up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. Dodgers lead the Pirates 1-0 after 3.5 in Pittsburgh. Fastball outside. 2-0 the count to Darryl Thomas. Phillies 3-1 over Cincinnati after 4 behind Steve Carlton. Sexto Lazcano a homer. 3-0 here to the Montreal shortstop. Cleveland winning big tonight. They lead Kansas City 8-4 after 7.5 in the first of a doubleheader. There's a strike to Thomas. It's 3-1. It's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. Popped him up left side. Should stay in play. Oberkfell, Ramirez. Raffy almost overran it, but made the catch. 1 down. Here's Doug Flynn, who executed a hit-and-run single his first time. Well, a good friend, the Montreal announcer Dave Van Horn, understandably proud tonight. His son Dwayne, the shortstop on the post-12 West Palm Beach District Legion champions, who head now to the South Florida Regionals. And they tell me, Dave tells me, that Dwayne's life is made miserable by all his teammates who are Braves fans since they see TBS. Congratulations to all you gentlemen. He pulled the string on Flynn and had him way out in front, 0-2. I asked Dave if Dwayne looked like you and his dad, and he said no, he looked more like Ernie. There's David on the left with Duke Snyder. Another let up. Fly ball short left. Harper will get there, and there are 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 5th. And Bryn Smith will bat. He sacrificed his first time, setting up the only run, which scored on a sacrifice fly. Two out, nobody aboard. Very easy inning if that stays in play, and I think it will, and Chambliss has it, and that's that in the Expo 5th. Mailer continues to pitch impressively, but at the end of 5, Montreal 1, Atlanta nothing. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Montreal team leads it 1-0. Though the Braves about hit them 4-2. Mailer is pitching his heart out again, but again he's trailing. Raines takes it low and away. He drove in the game's only run with a line drive sacrifice fly in the 3rd. And were it not for a good play by Terry Harper, it would have put 2 runs on the board for Montreal. A ball and a strike, the count. Ran up to bunt, took it low and inside. 2-1 the count. The outfield shades Raines slightly toward left. Boy, you don't want to get him on there with nobody out. 3 balls and a strike. Pete Rose is next. Excuse me. The 3-1 pitch. Second walk for Mailer. Now you really got to be alive.
And here's a situation where a pitcher like Mailer is really hurt. He relies so much on his off-speed pitches. And with a base runner like Tim Raines on there, who has stolen 30 bases this year and been caught only once, if he picks that off-speed pitch to go on, there's no way you're going to get him.
He bluffed to start. It was a fastball. Benedict out of the blocks, but nothing happening.
And if Mailer goes away from the off-speed pitches, you're taking away a good part of his repertoire.
Tremendous alley in right center for Rose to hit into. Nowhere near. 2-0 the count. Tigers lead the White Sox 3-1 after 4.5 tonight. Well, let's see what they do on the 2-0. Raines goes scrambling back. 30 out of 31 in the stolen base department. Mike Scott picked him off last week. The Astros pitcher, that's the only time he's been caught. So he has not been thrown out at second base all year. The chickens do their work here on the message board. Now another chicken should come popping up. There they go. TBS production meeting. There goes Raines. High throw. He is in there. Close play, but he beat it. Good throw by Benedict.
If Tim Raines maintains his current rate of success at stealing bases, he will wind up his career being the all-time best base stealer percentage-wise in the game's history. Davey Lopes holds that honor right now. Raines actually leads Lopes, but he hasn't played enough years yet to really make that figure significant.
3-1 the cut. The 3-1 pitch. 2 on, nobody out. And Andre Dawson is the batter. Dawson has flied to center and struck out. Andre's struggling through a bad year. Let's see how they play it here. They could bunt. Or Carter and Stenhouse follow. No activity as yet in the Atlanta bullpen out in right center field. Now he's swinging, but he took it low. 1 ball, no strikes, and suddenly Mailer's control has deserted him here.
And now the bullpen is active. Jeff Dedman gets up, begins to throw.
Line center field, base hit. The bases will be loaded. There is nobody out. And the Expos now bid to break it wide open. Dawson really smoked that one.
Take a second look. He got that breaking ball, but he got the fat part of the bat on it. And Cummins, not used to playing center field on the turf, almost came in too far on that ball. You've got to be very careful playing on the AstroTurf not to come in too close to a ball that's going to drop in front of you, because if it scoots past you, those runners just go on forever.
Joe Torre to the mound to talk it over with Mailer and to give Dedman some more time to get ready. He's got Carter, Stenhouse, and Wallach here. 3 tough hitters with the bases loaded, nobody out. Braves down 1-0. Not scoring any runs, not hitting a lick. To say that the Braves are in trouble is putting it mildly. Carter is flying to center and bounced to second. Infield halfway at short and second. Chambliss and Oberkfell even with a bag. This is a mess for Mailer. 2 walks and a single have him in hot water with nobody out. 1 run is in. Rose will be sent, and he will be out by 30 feet. Oh, what a terrible job of coaching with nobody out. Harper gunned him down with no problem at all. There's a big break for Atlanta.
What makes this so baffling on the part of third base coach Russ Nixon is one hitter earlier, Andre Dawson, hit a ball equally hard with Tim Raines at second, and Raines was held at third. And Raines, of course, possesses much better speed than does Pete Rose these days. And you can see how easily Rose was cut down at the plate.
He didn't bother to slide. The bases should be loaded with a run in and nobody out. Instead, runners at first and second, 1 out. And it wasn't Rose running through a stop sign. Nixon kept him running. What a break for Atlanta. They're not out of the woods yet, but they've got a great chance to get out of it now with just 1 run scoring. Stenhouse is lined to first and walked. ball, no strikes. Deep right center, but it should be caught. Who wants it? Claudel. Dawson tags and comes on over, and they're on the corners with 2 out. And Tim Wallach, the batter, he's been easy so far. He's bounced to third and struck out. In the Atlanta 7th, it will be Comments, Harper, and Oberkfell for Atlanta. Wallach at .258 on the year, but he has 14 homers and 46 runs batted in. Good curveball, 0-1. Oh, and 2. Rick quickly out in front. If he gets out of this, allowing only 1 run, maybe it'll perk this club up a little bit. It's over. Strikeout number 4. Wallach is caught looking, and Mailer gets out of it in great shape. A run scores on 2 hits. No errors, 2 left. At the end of 6, your score. Montreal now 2, Atlanta nothing. Tonight on Centennial, an ambitious author unearths a 100-year-old secret, and it becomes the biggest story of his life. Don't miss the exciting all-star conclusion of Centennial. Right after the game, right here on Superstation WTBS. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves trail 2-0, and to try to change things around and bring you the rest of the way, here once again, Pete Van Wieren.
Skip Darryl Thomas is 1 for 2 in the game tonight. He has singled and fouled out to short. Came around to score the first of 2 Montreal runs. One ball, no strikes. Now the 1-0. That caught the corner. 1-1 once again, and this has happened several times to Rick Mailer this year. He is pitching well enough to win, but trailing by a couple of runs. He has had complete game losses of 2-1 and 1-0. Trailing 2-0 here. Here's the 1-2 now to Darryl Thomas. The curve is grounded right side off the glove of Chambliss. He'll pick it up and have no play. That'll be a base hit given to Darryl Thomas, his second hit of the game.
I think you used the word given very appropriately. Chris should have had this ball, I think. Let's look at it again. Yeah, he just misplayed it. I would have scored it in air, but I'm not the scorer.
That is hit number 5 for the Expos, and here's Doug Flynn. Flynn has a single and a flyout. He takes a strike in the inside corner.
Jose De Leon of the Pirates has not allowed a hit through 6 innings, yet he trails 1-0.
He has had more games where he's gone into the 6th or 7th or 8th inning pitching a no-hitter. He has yet to throw one in his major league career, but it seems inevitable that one of these days he will, maybe tonight. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 7th. This will stay in play for Benedict in foul territory, and there's out number 1. Now pitcher Bryn Smith gets a nice hand.
Well, I know you've enjoyed these 4 games working with me. I've managed to make us both sick, right?
Seems I am picking up a cold of some sort. Smith has a sacrifice bunt. He's also fouled out to first. Swinging this time over Chambliss's head, but Royster is there. Somebody better cover first. Chambliss does. And that's out number 2. He almost got caught there with nobody covering first. 2 are out with Darryl Thomas down at second now. And we go back to the top of the order, and Tim Raines, who was grounded out to second, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly to left and scored Montreal's other run in the 6th when he walked, stole second, came home on Gary Carter's single. Two down with Thomas at second. Mailer delivers. Missing outside, ball 1.
This is going to work out perfectly. We switch rotations tomorrow. I'll get to infect Ernie. You get John.
Let's hope we can nip these things in the bud. Here's the 1-0. 2-0. Two runs on 5 hits for Montreal. No runs, 4 hits Atlanta. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves continue to look just about as flat as you can. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that missed. 3-0. Gene Garber is up now in the Atlanta bullpen. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Raines, and he walked him on 4 straight. That is walk number 4 issued by Rick Mailer. Montreal runners now at first and second with 2 down. Pete Rose, the batter, he is grounded out to second, struck out and walked. Rose just 139 hits away from catching up with Ty Cobb for the all-time major league hit leader. The pitch on the way to Rose. He takes a strike, 0-1. You very seldom see Rose complain to an umpire, but that little smile that he gave may have indicated that he didn't quite agree with that last call by Lanny Harris. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a high pop foul, third base side. Oberkfell chasing it, but this one will drop in the seats out of play. And Mailer quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2.
Mailer's next start, by the way, is against Steve Carlton in Atlanta on Sundays. It's not going to get much easier for him, is it?
This is not the first time he's pitched in this ballpark with bad luck. A couple of years ago, Rick threw a 1-hitter here and lost. Nothing in 2 on Rose. One ball, 2 strikes. Darryl Thomas off second. Tim Raines off first with 2 outs. And a 1-2 pitch. Slow curve. Got away from Benedict, but not far enough. Runners remain where they are. 2-2 the count.
Gene Garber.
Waiting on deck, Andre Dawson. Again, the runners have their leads from first and second. And Mailer stepping off now. Ready now for the 2-2 to Rose. He takes just low in the count, full 3-2. Mailer wanted that pitch. You could tell by the long look he gave after the call of ball 3 by Lanny Harris. This will get the runners going. Raines will take off from first. Thomas will take off from second. And with 2 outs, the 3-2 pitch on the way to Rose. He swings, hits it over the mound. Second baseman Royster will field it. Throw on to first in time to end the inning. So nothing doing for Montreal in the 7th. They pick up a hit and a walk and leave 2. We go to the 8th inning. Score remains Montreal 2, Atlanta 0. It's walked 35 times this year. Struck out only 21 times. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Washington down at second. Smith to the belt. Here's the payoff pitch. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. And the Braves doldrums continue. Bryn Smith winds up the game with his 6th strikeout of the night. Our final score, Montreal 2, Atlanta 0. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Well, the Atlanta Braves now drop to just 1 game over 500 as once again tonight Montreal pitching simply shuts the door on the Braves bats. 2-0 Expos the final. Skip has the totals.
Okay, Pete, for Montreal, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 6. For Atlanta, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 5. Bryn Smith, the winner. He's now 8-7, 2-0 against the Braves. Rick Mailer, the loser. He's 6-5, 0-1 against Montreal. Tim.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta Braves baseball. Along with Pete Van Weeren, this is Ernie Johnson speaking to you from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where this afternoon is game 2 of a weekend series with the Giants. We conclude it tomorrow afternoon. We're in Houston for 3, and then home next weekend. Last night, the Giants won behind Mike Krukow. It hurt the Braves, Pete. Atlanta now 8 back.
Yes, Atlanta 8 back. The Dodgers also fading. San Diego beginning to pull away in this division, so it's time for the Braves to do something about that if they're going to stay in the race. They'll send their best pitcher so far this year, Rick Mailer, out there this afternoon. His record 6-6, but he's pitched much better than that. His pitching opponent, left-hander Mark Davis, who's had kind of a shaky year with only 3 wins and 11 losses.
We'll be back with the starting lineup right after this word. As we come back, you can see how the Braves line up in the field behind pitcher Rick Mailer. Kamensk, originally in that lineup, was taken to the hospital this morning along with Murphy for examination, and he just got Kamensk just with a badly bruised wrist. He was hit here last night. Gladden will lead it off. He'll be followed by Trio, then Baker. Rick Mailer, a tough luck pitcher. I say that because it's true. He's 6-6, and his ERA is 4th best in the National League at 2.47. Braves haven't gotten him any runs. And another hard luck pitcher is former Brave Larry McWilliams, who has a losing record with the Pirates, and his ERA in the National League is 5th best.
Well, a good indication of just what kind of luck Mailer's been pitching. In his last 5 starts, he's given up only 11 earned runs. That's just a little more than 2 a game. And his record over those last 5 starts, nothing in 4.
You give up 2, you usually win. But always seems to be a pitcher on every staff that have the run calendar and one that is never the beneficiary of any runs. Mailer's first pitch is inside. You got to like this guy at the plate. Dan Gladden, we haven't seen that much of him. He hadn't been here all year. He's batting .382 this season. Had a home run here last night, first time up, and that proved to be the game-winning RBI. He proves, as we've mentioned often, you don't have to be a big guy to play Major League Baseball. And if kids are watching, you can see that he chokes up on the bat. He's not trying to hit the ball downtown. Once in a while he will. Tries to make contact. 1-2. See if we can pick up a sign from Benedict. Breaking ball. Well, he's giving a set of signs now. So Mailer picks out the one that they're using on that particular day. It could be the fourth sign. We say 3 the slider, 2 the curve, and 1 the fastball. They decide which sign they're going to use before they start. That could be. Now that's a breaking ball. There it is. And there it goes to center field. Murphy should catch it. 3 the breaking ball on that particular. 1 flash. Now Manny Trio.
Well, the ultimate quote about Candlestick Park was made by a San Francisco disc jockey. As you know, they're back to natural turf in this stadium. They tried artificial turf. And the disc jockey's line is quoted in the paper this morning. Next year, they're going to resurface Candlestick Park with paper because the Giants always look good on paper.
That's a good line. And it fits a lot of ball clubs. Every season starts, that quote comes out. Well, they look good on paper.
That's right.
Trio hasn't played that much this year due to an injury. He was hit by a pitch.
Had a broken bone in the same vicinity of the wrist that Bob Horner has his. Wasn't quite as serious, though, as Bob's.
This is only his 48th game. And the 2-0 over. Pascual Perez pitches tomorrow afternoon. We'll be with you at the same time, 4:05 Eastern. 3-1. Mailer, who will on occasion flip you a knuckleball. Unable to get together. You may see another sign. This could be the fastball with a 1. It was. Tough play, Royster. Beautiful play, Royster. He got Trio from the hole. That was not an easy play for Jerry Royster or anybody else.
Something else to keep in mind today, the wind blowing from right field across toward left. So anytime you make a throw from deep in the hole at short or deep third base, you're throwing right into that wind, too. And that can be a factor on a day like this. That was a good play.
And stretch by Watson helped, too. Well, here's an old friend, Dusty Baker. Used to play with the Braves, played with the Dodgers for many years. Baker with a 7-game hitting streak. He's been on their disabled list, too. Bad wheels. Curveball. That's that yo-yo curve. He pulls the string, and it never gets there. Baker has now been in 59 games for San Francisco. Oh, 0-2. Missed with the fastball. Mailer uses his fastball many times at the change. He just wastes it to set up this pitch right here. Most managers say make it happen on the 2-2. Don't go 3-2. See if it's a breaking ball. It is. Popped him up. Watson at first. And that's an easy 1-2-3 for Rick Mailer. We go to the second. Atlanta's up by 2. Well, if the Cubs win it, they should. It'll be back to 3.5 in the National League East. Philadelphia went in today 6.5 out.
And the Phillies have rewarded their manager, Paul Owens' contract extended for another year through the 1985 season.
Curveball in there. Mailer's batting .343. Astronomical figure for a pitcher or anybody else. most cases. 0-2. Benedict at first, 2 away. You just tuned us in. Murphy had a 2-run homer in the first. Atlanta leads 2-0. Well hit, base hit left. Mailer just keeps on doing it. That'll bring on Royster with runners at first and second.
It's really been a solid 300 that Mailer has hit. A lot of times a pitcher will hit 300 hitting in awfully good luck, but Mailer's hit the ball hard all season long.
Royster's a batter. He flied to right first time up. Runners at first and second. The Braves are 5-2 against the Giants this year. Overall, they're 3-1 here. Out of the way. It appears that Davis has a pretty good curveball to the right-handed batters coming down and in. If you're hanging out over the plate, you're in trouble. No balls, 1 strike. Went into a squat.
Breaking ball just kept riding right in on Jerry.
1 ball, 1 strike. On the right side, 3-0. Safe. I don't believe Thompson got back to get the bag. He might have missed it. And we'll see how they score it. Base hit.
Thompson got all mixed up on this play. He started going toward the ball. Then when it looked like Trio could get to it, he turned around to get back toward the bag. He never really did. He takes the throw. You can see he's standing off the bag, kind of reaching for it there. He doesn't know where it is. And actually, it was the slide by Jerry Royster that kicked Thompson's foot toward the bag. So he never did find the bag there.
That'll load the bases for Randy Johnson with 2 down. This has all happened after 2 outs. Herm Starrett, their pitching coach, former Braves pitching coach, is out to settle a youngster down. That might be Williams warming up in their bullpen, and it is. He's been a very pleasant surprise for Frank Robinson. Frank Williams. He's a side armor. Johnson with 2 down, the base is full. What a now. There's that curve we were talking about. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1. He bunts it. Foul. Little bunt up toward third, trying to beat it out and get a run in. It was a surprise bunt by Randy Johnson. 1-2. Surprised me too. But Benedict was breaking on it. If it's fair, they might have gotten away with it. I like to see hitters wail away in this situation. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He did that on his own. Safe at second, a run scored. Randy Johnson got an infield hit on a bouncer toward deep short. And Royster's speed got him down there, and the Braves lead now 3-0.
Give Jerry Royster a lot of credit here. Royster had a big lead at first base, and he went hard towards second. You see, he got in there quite easily. He was in there well before the throw.
Base is still loaded for Claudel. So a couple of scratchies by Atlanta have resulted in a run. Royster had an infield hit because Thompson couldn't find the bag. And now Johnson with a hit to deep short. Pitch to the doctor. A ball. Mailer now at third. Royster at second. Johnson first. Popped him up. Foul. I don't believe it'll be in play. O'Malley gives it a look. It's on the scoreboard. Chicago 11, New York 3. 8th inning. Here's a pitch. A little bit high. The Braves now with 3 runs on 5 hits. Washington had a double first time up. A little flare over third, and he hustled a single into a double. Claudel didn't like the call. You could see him shake his head and probably told Billy Williams it was high. 2-2. Hit foul. Davis in a spot where he has to get this guy, or he's out of the game. Williams is ready if they need him in the bullpen. 2-2. High. 3-2. Murphy would be next. Bases are loaded. Mailer third. Royster second. Johnson first. He's going to wind up, and everybody's going to get a big jump. Here's a pitch. Struck him out. Didn't hurt him. They usually stretch in that position. He wound up, and he struck out Washington, but Atlanta picks up a run. We go to the bottom half of the second. 3-0 Braves.
Four-time Olympic gold medalist Al Orter joins CNN Sports Sunday for a look at past victories and future glories. Call up and speak with this great athlete at 7:05 Eastern Time Sunday night, only on CNN.
Jeff Leonard, who's having a fine year for the Giants, will lead it off. He's over 300 with 14 homers and 55 RBIs. Had a home run here last night. Got fans here from Warner Robins, Georgia, Oregon, Decatur, Georgia. Pitch is high. Missoula, Montana. What happens is many people who watch our games on cable, when we come to San Francisco and they're from the surrounding area, they come on down. That's hit to short. Royster to first. 1 down. Now Scott Thompson.
Number 41. The first baseman, Scott Thompson.
Thompson went 0 for 2 in game 1 last night. Used to play with the Cubs. I mentioned Perez tomorrow. Then in Houston, it'll be McMurtry, Camp, and Mailer. Barker will not pitch. His arm's bothering him again, so he's going to be passed on his pitching turn. Strike. Friendly on deck. There's a knuckler. Popped it along the line. Long run. Can Rupi catch it? He just got it. I saw some white, but he held on to it, and it was just fair. Linares caught it in the webbing. It ran out almost.
You'll see here the ball was just fair, and Rufi was just foul when he caught it. He just kept on going, almost ran too far. And just did get a glove on it.
Linares has good speed. He was slowed down with an injury in the Winter Ball League a couple of years ago, but he's regained most of his speed. This guy at the plate has been tough on Atlanta this year. He has 3 homers against the Braves. He's hurt a few other people, too. Brenly's batting .313. 10 homers and 45 RBIs. Easily his best year in the majors.
He does something a little different up at the plate. He kind of opens up his body just before the pitch is made. And then as the pitcher is ready to release the ball, he closes the body up again.
Strides at the pitcher. He's batting .409 against the Braves this year. Baylor's knocked off 5 in a row. That might have been enough, or I think it was. He missed with it. And the 2-1. He's run it to 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 2. Mailer out of Texas. And the payoff up the middle. Takes it. Brenly just keeps on keeping on. Another hit against the Braves.
He's just having his best all-around year. He's hit the ball for average and with power all season long. That one just beyond the reach of Jerry Royster.
Youngster at the plate we've always liked, Tom O'Malley. We thought that he was up here to stay, but he's been back and forth a couple of times now to the minors this year. Strike call. He's only 23. First year up was 1982, and he batted .275. Runner going. He's going to be safe. The throw is into center field. That's a stolen base and an error on Benedict. He got a big jump on Mailer.
Yeah, this shows you no matter who the base runner is, you can't just ignore him. Mailer paid no attention to Brenly that time. He got a huge jump. Would have beaten even a good throw. And then when the throw sailed through into center field, Brenly easily able to move over to third. That is his 4th stolen base of the year.
One, 1 and 2. Last season, O'Malley, in a full year here, batted .259, knocked in 45 runs and had 5 homers. But this year, at the beginning, he just didn't cut it, and they sent him out. He batted .323 at Phoenix. The 1-2. Little pop. Somebody's going to have to hustle back. Murphy coming in, and he makes a play. It hung up there long enough for Murphy to make the catch. It looked like trouble when it left the bat. We go to the 3rd. 3-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 3rd, Brad Wellman leads it off, and here's Pete.
Thank you, Ernie. Wellman playing shortstop, hitting .236, 1 home run, 15 RBIs. He's in there for Johnny Lemaster, who's in a lengthy slump, batting only .209 now. 1 ball, no strikes. A lot of trade rumors about Lemaster. The Phillies apparently interested in acquiring him. 2-0 now on Brad Wellman.
Well, if he's traded to the Phillies, that'll be 2 that don't speak to the media.
That's true. Yes. He can get the locker right next to Steve Carlton.
Yes.
Not much activity over there after a game. Now the 2-1 pitch. Fair ball off the glove of Randy Johnson down toward the Braves bullpen. Wellman heads for second, and he'll go in standing. Now he's going to try for third. There's nobody covering. There's Royster. So to Hubbard. Did he get him? He didn't. And we're going to have an argument Gary Royster and Glenn Hubbard both felt they had tagged Brad Wellman. Joe Torre coming out. I think Wellman is hurt. The Giants trainer and Frank Robinson coming out to tend to Brad Wellman while the argument goes on right around it. There was nobody covering third when Wellman saw that. He took off for third base. It was a foot race then between Wellman and Hubbard.
All right, here we go. It's off the glove. It's Royster's job to come over and take third. Johnson chasing the ball down. Wellman's going to get two. Now Randy floats the ball back. Hubbard breaks for the bag. Now watch. The question is, does the runner go off the bag? He's off the bag, see? This is why Torrey's arguing. But Brocklander, by his indication, was saying that Hubbard didn't have complete charge of the ball, control of the ball. He was slapping his hands together as though Hubbard were juggling the ball when he came over the bag. Now let's look. He's definitely off the bag. He's over slides. Hubbard will take him right off the bag. You can see the space here. So if Hubbard has the ball in his glove, there's no way he's safe. But Brocklander came up and slapped his hands together. Hubbard showing him the ball, more or less saying that the ball had been juggled. I don't believe he said that Hubbard knocked him off the bag because they both went in at about the same time. My only indication was that not complete possession of the ball by Hubbard.
Wellman appears to be okay. Looked like he scraped up his face just a little bit in that slide. I would imagine he'll be given credit for a double and taking third base on the throw, but we'll wait and see for sure. Heads-up piece of base running by Brad Wellman. And San Francisco threatening now with a runner at third, nobody out. Hit number 2 off Rick Mailer, and the batter will be the pitcher, Mark Davis, who's not a bad hitter. He's 5 for 35 this year. That's a 143 batting average. He has 2 triples. And he has driven in 4 runs. The infield will stay back. Braves leading it 3-0. 0-1 on Mark Davis. That is the official scorer's ruling. A double. He takes third on the throw. Here's the 0-1. Outside. So for Brad Wellman, his 7th double of the year. He's now at third base with nobody out. A count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Davis. One and 2 now the count. Couple of things made that play possible. 1, nobody covering third for Atlanta. And 2, that throw by Randy Johnson. When he floated that throw, that gave Wellman about a 4-step jump.
I think he floated it because he didn't really know who to throw it to because no one was at third base. And I would think that Royster should come over to cover third. Sometimes the pitcher has come off there, but they're the 2 closest. I would say shortstop has to take third base to protect against a runner advancing.
Strikeout number 1 for Rick Mailer. Out number 1 here in the bottom half of the third. And we go back to the top of the order now, and Dan Gladden, who flied to center his first time.
The argument didn't last too long. I'm wondering whether Brocklander might have also said that Hubbard knocked him off the bag.
Could be. That was a tough call for a third base umpire because it was a very unusual play. And normally when you get a call at a base, the fielder is usually pretty well planted there and the runner's coming on. That time you had both the defensive player and the runner heading for the bag at the same time. Nothing in 1 to count on Dan Gladden. Here's the 1-strike pitch. And there's a fly ball, fairly deep center field. Should get the run home. Murphy waiting out there. He's got it. Wellman tags, and he will come on to score the Giants' first run of the afternoon. Gladden drives in his 14th run of the season with a sacrifice fly to center. It is out number 2 here in the third. That makes it a 3-1 Atlanta lead. And the batter will be Manny Trio. Trio thrown out by shortstop Jerry Royster in the first.
Number 9, second baseman Manny Trio.
Three runs on 6 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 2 hits for the Giants. We're in the bottom half of the third. Trio takes a strike. Now they have changed the scoring on Brad Wellman's ball. They are now giving him a triple. His first triple of the year. The count goes to 0-2 on Manny Trio. 2 outs, bases empty now. And the 2-strike pitch. Bouncing ball again toward short. Royster on to first in time to end the inning. But the Giants pick up a run on 1 hit. No run left on at the end of 3. It's now the Braves 3 and the San Francisco Giants 1. Mailer, who had a base hit his first time up.
The pitcher, Rick Mailer.
Mailer now batting .361 for the year. He has 13 hits and 36 at-bats. 3 doubles, a couple of RBIs. Up in a bunt situation here. Final now from Shea. The Cubs beat the Mets 11-4. So the Mets lead now 3.5 over Chicago in the East. Right-hander Frank Williams up again in the Giants bullpen. Count of 1 ball, no strikes on Rick Mailer. Benedict back safely. The runner is going. Mailer swinging, hits it right toward the bag. Did Wellman get him? He did for 1 on to first. In-time double play. That was a good play by Brad Wellman because he had to kind of reach behind him to get the tag on. In the bottom half of the 4th inning, Dusty Baker, Jeff Leonard, and Scott Thompson due up against Rick Mailer, who leads it here 3-1. 7 hits for Atlanta, 2 for the Giants. Baker 0 for 1. He popped to first his first time up. That ball is drilled down the left field line, but it's foul up into the seats just above the Braves bullpen bench. 0-1 on Dusty. You have to kind of wonder how much better the Giants would have been this year if they'd had Baker all season. He was about 6 weeks late in signing with San Francisco. That's up the middle. Royster to his left, grabs it near the bag. His throw on to first is in time. And of course the Giants continue to play today with Jack Clark and Al Oliver both on the disabled list, so they're missing some of their big bats. One they are not missing, striding to the plate now, Jeff Leonard. He grounded out to short his first time up, hitting .302 on the year. He has really changed as a hitter since coming up to the major leagues. When he first came up and got to play a little bit with Houston, he was originally a Dodger, but his first real playing time came with Houston. He hit for average and not much power. In fact, one year he played 134 games in 1979 with Houston, didn't hit a home run, hit .290. Last year he began to show some power, hit 21 home runs for the Giants, and he has 14 this year. Two and 0 the count. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Over for a strike. 2-1. Now it's even 2-2. Scott Thompson on deck. The curve is drilled down the left field line. That is a foul ball. That did not appear to be foul by much. We are screened from that left field corner. And I was a bit surprised that Jeff Leonard didn't run that ball out in case it did land fair.
See if we can pick it up.
I tell you what.
By inches.
And he was still standing in the batter's box. Had that ball landed fair, Jeff Leonard would only have gotten a single out of it.
He's got good eyes, hasn't he?
2-2 the count. Danny Ozark will handle that one.
That ball had been fair and he ended up with a single. I can imagine the conversation between Robinson and Leonard after. Pocketbook would be a little
Might have been
lighter.
some numbers involved in that conversation with dollar signs attached. Again, the 2-2 on the way. Fouled away again. Three runs, 7 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 2 hits for the Giants. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Base is empty, 1 man out. And a count of 2-2 on Jeff Leonard. Right to the shortstop, Royster. His throw on to first is in time. Royster's been busy at short today. Out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th. Royster already with 5 assists on the afternoon. And here's Scott Thompson, who flied to left his first time. The city by the bay, San Francisco, where the Democratic convention was held last week. They've got a dentist's convention in town this week. One of the events in our hotel today was a seminar on how to get the bill to you before your Novocaine wears off. Here's the 1-0. Inside 2-0. Two men out, base is empty. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Braves up by 2. And the count now 3-0 on Scott Thompson.
You want to add a dentist to our list of lawyers and other professionals that
my favorite people.
Contact us.
And on 4 straight pitches, Scott Thompson down to first with a walk. First walk issued by Rick Mailer, and it'll bring up the catcher Bob Brenly. Bob Watson over for a chat now with Mailer. Brenly has worn out the Braves this year. He had another base hit back in the 2nd. Really an unexpectedly good year from Brenly. They were hoping that somebody could take over the #1 catching job for the Giants. That's been a job that's been up for grabs for years. But Brenly hit only .224 last year. Nobody expected, I'm sure, including him, that he would have this good a season offensively. You always go in there trying to have your best year, but Brenly up almost 100 points from what he hit a year ago. Mailer has now missed with his last 5 pitches. And the 1-0. Caught the corner, 1-1. Two men out. Scott Thompson, the runner at first. Watson holding him. Thompson has 2 steals and 4 tries this year. Time call just as Mailer was about to make his pitch. Here's the 1-1. Line right center field. Claudell Washington had him shaded that way, though, and makes the running catch in the gap in right center to end the inning. No runs or hits. There was a walk, 1 man left. We've completed 4 at Candlestick with our score: Braves 3, Giants 1.
Gerald Perry goes to first base for the Braves as he takes over from Bob Watson. There you see Gerald. Braves have a 4-1 lead in a very, very important game for the Braves. You know, you can't say must yet, but Braves need a win today and also tomorrow, and hopefully Houston can win at least one of two in that doubleheader in San Diego tonight. Look at that little darling. Along with Skip Curry, John Sterling with you now on Braves television from Candlestick Park on a cold, windy, blustery kind of day. Third baseman Tom O'Malley leads off the bottom of the fifth against Mailer. Rick has a 4-1 lead, and Mailer gets O'Malley to pop it up again. Hubby the call, the catch, one away.
Number 36, shortstop Brad Allman.
To be honest about it, the Braves got a tremendous break last inning. Their base running has been very poor. And it was very poor again. Randy Johnson really got picked off. His attention was diverted when Scott Thompson tried to slip in behind Murphy at first base. And they had him hung to dry, and then Frank Williams threw the ball away. That's a big run for the Braves. Here's the eighth hitter and shortstop Brad Wellman. Wellman made the Giants run possible today. He hit a ball off Randy Johnson's glove for a double. It kicked off in the area outside of third. And then when he saw third base unoccupied, no one had covered it, and Randy Johnson lobbed the ball back. Wellman went on and really stole a base, getting to third, then scored on a fly ball. There's a strike, 2-1. Mailer has pitched well. He's been the Braves' most consistent starter this year. He pitches well almost every time out. That bunt went foul, and the count 2-2. Giants relief pitcher Frank Williams on deck. Count goes full now on Wellman. Wellman is not really a very good hitter at this point in his career, so Mailer does not want to walk him to 3-2. Linares near the line. 2-away.
Number 47,
the Giants will let Williams hit with 2 outs and no one on. Let's see what Frank has done. He's a rookie. Let's see what he's done as a hitter this year. He's 2 for 14. No homers or RBIs. And the fastball right down the pipe. Curveball is high. Everything is over in the afternoon games in the major leagues. Cubs beat the Mets. I think 11-4 the final. Cardinals beat the Pirates 5-1. The Dodgers shut out Cincinnati 1-0. In the American League, the Yankees beat the White Sox 3-2. That should end the inning. Randy Johnson. 1-2-3 inning for Mailer. Nothing across for the Giants at the end of 5. It's 4-1 Braves. By Giants pitching. Second by Williams. Now we'll see if Rick Mailer bunts. They tried to have Mailer fake the bunt and swing away. Brad Wellman made a really exceptional play. That was back in the 4th inning. Turned it into a double play. It's tough to move Bruce along because he doesn't run well enough unless you bunt and run. Also might be kind of tough, I would think, for a right-hand hitter like Mailer to bunt Williams. He has such an unusual or unorthodox delivery. Well, we'll see. Mailer is single to left. He's a good hitter. Then he bounced into that double play. There's the bunt. It'll move Bruce along. Thompson has to make the play to Manny Trio. Good bunt by Mailer. A little bit of backspin on it. The bunt goes 3-4, sacrifice, and Benny's at second base with 1 out.
number 1,
It's like a play on words, isn't it?
Sure is. Yeah. Clever promotion people, boy. Meanwhile, the grounds crew here has turned the infield into a swamp by watering it at the end of that inning. Why do you water the dirt?
I think they're trying to keep it down. The wind kicks up here around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Although I don't know, I thought it was kicking up pretty good at about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning. The Giants will send the top of the order against Rick Mailer here in the bottom of the 6th, trailing 4-1. Here's the rookie center fielder and a very good-looking prospect, Dan Gladden. 0 for 1. He has a sac fly on the Giants RBI today. Gladden, since his recall, is hitting at .382. 3 homers and 13 RBIs. He led off the game with a home run. There's a line drive base hit to center. And Gladden can really run the bases too. He has stolen 10 out of 16 bases. He's a pretty good prospect. You can go get him in center field too. With that, Alex Trevino runs down to the Braves bullpen. The Braves going to get something going down their bullpen.
A fine musician here at the ballpark rooting for the Braves. Ronnie Millsap and his band. They've been playing up in Washington here rooting for the Braves today.
He is a terrific singer too. Gene Garber gets up in the Braves bullpen. Here's Manny Trio with Gladden at first. That will be caught in left field by Linares. 1 away. Mailer has walked 1 and struck out 1. There you see Gino. Mailer almost every time out has pitched extremely good baseball for the Braves. His record of 6-6 very misleading. He's given up under 2.5 runs a game. I think his ERA 2.47 coming into today. Gladden at first base. Here's Dusty Baker. Dusty 0 for 2. Gladden is going, and Benedict doesn't even throw. And that's a knock on Mailer. That pitch stolen off the pitcher, not the catcher.
He got a great jump. Rather than risk throwing it away again, Benedict held on. The double play is no longer in effect.
That's something that you're really seeing in big league baseball now that you didn't see a few years ago. Guys stealing when they're 3 runs behind or so. And if you can steal, if you have that ability, I think it helps the ball club. Frank Robinson obviously thinks so too. Pitch is in there. And Gladden also was fortunate. He guessed on a slow curve. Now Gladden at second base with 1 man out here in the bottom of the 6th. Braves leading 4-1. Brett Baker and Jeff Leonard on deck. Dusty takes it low, 2-1. If you look at the flags in center field, they now really somewhat left. They were blowing it. Gale, there they are in center field now. A little bit out toward left. Linares coming in, and Royster makes a heck of a catch. And almost threw him out. Royster making one outstanding play after another today, and playing for him a kind of a strange position at shortstop.
This is the toughest play a defensive man has, running with his back to the infield. Look at the quick reactions. That's why right there you can see why Royster was one of the most sought-after high school basketball players in the nation a decade or so ago. Great athletic ability.
You know, I had him on the leadoff man radio show today. I said, well, you're going to play shortstop. You haven't played that in a while. Raphael has been slumping, and it might be tough to play it here with the kind of dirt they have on the infield. They have a special mixture here that prevents blowing, but it's a very hard infield. Anyway, Royster said, look, he said, left field here is almost impossible to play, and I played that last night. He said, I'll do okay. And he has. Two-way, here is Jeff Leonard. He takes a fast strike on the outside corner. A crowd of just about 13,000 in the ballpark today, 12,942. Two-way, bottom of the 6th. Dan Gladden at second base. Braves lead at 4-1. And a mighty good hitter up there in Jeff Leonard. Royster from the outfield grass. Can he get him? Oh, another great throw. He got him. It's the second time Royster has thrown him out from the outfield grass. No runs on a hit, no errors, and one left. At the end of 6 innings of play, the Braves 4 and the Giants 1.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, Scott Thompson will lead it off. For the Giants, the voice of the University of Georgia baseball team, Bob Beeler, out here at the ballpark, wants to be remembered to the folks back in Athens. One ball, no strikes to Thompson, who has flied to left and walked. Activity now in the bullpen for San Francisco. There's a strike to Thompson. Looks like Gary Lavelle up and throwing. Two balls and a strike to cut. The Mets are 21 games over 500. The Braves are 2 games over 500. Into the alley in right center, but Murphy will get there. The wind blew it in his direction, one away. Thompson hit that one well. Mailer has pitched himself a dandy. He's allowed just 3 hits. And by rights should have a shutout. Bob Brenly has 1 for 2. He's hit the ball hard both times. Josh Marks, our director here today. Josh is about to become a citizen of California. He was out here for the convention coverage for CNN. Stays here for the Braves West Coast swing. 0-1 the count. Notice how much more laid back Josh is now that he spent all this time in California.
He's very mellow.
Yeah, cooler, baby. There's that off-speed breaking ball. 0-2 the count. There's Gary Lavelle heating up. Now time called. Benedict Mailer to get together. I wonder what this could be about. Everything's cooking along pretty well here. Bruce probably went out there and said, hey, you know, John Sterling is going to the theater tonight.
Right. They might have been humming the score.
Mr. First Nighter. Stayed alive. Check swing foul off Benedict. Count stays 0-2. What are you going to observe?
La cage au fort.
It's easy for you to say. What's that about?
Oh, some doings at Saint-Tropez. That was a great musical by Jerry Herman.
I know what it's
Tony's.
I know what it's about. I just wanted to see what you were going to say. A ball and 2 strikes the count. 4-8-1 for the Braves. 1-3-1 for the Giants. We'll have a review of it tomorrow right here. Starting at 4:05. Just missed with that off-speed curveball high. 2-2 the count. I don't know if Mailer has thrown a knuckleball today or not. He hasn't thrown many. He just threw one, and it's hit fouled on the third baseline. Thanks, Rick. 1 out, nobody on. And the 2-2 pitch, here it is. Just missed. Low and away. He's run it full now, 3-2. So we do a payoff pitch to the Giant catcher. And here it is. And there it goes. Boy, did he whip that. It is fair ball, home run, 4-2. We have seen two mammoth home runs today, one by Murphy, this one by Brenly, his 11th, his 46th RBI.
Oh, here's a new Brave killer, Bob Brenly. That's his 4th home run this year against the Braves. Everything he hits against him is hard, even when he goes out. It was a change, and it was up high, and Brenly, what a tremendous year he's having. He's going to sign some contract next year somewhere, probably here.
O'Malley up the middle and into center field on the first pitch. And that brings the tying run to the plate. Brad Wellman is being called back here. And the Atlanta bullpen will go to work. Gene Garber up and throwing. There's Gino. Let's see who comes out to hit for San Fran. Gene Richards will be the pinch hitter. Veteran outfielder, first baseman, with good running speed. Richards spent most of his career with the San Diego Padres. He's hitting .245 for the year. He has no homers, 4 RBIs. He's 5 out of 24 as a pinch hitter. He represents the tying run. Chili Davis has grabbed the bat and moved on deck. He will pinch hit next for Williams. O'Malley a lead. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It's a 2-run Atlanta lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Slider at the knees on the inside corner, though Richards didn't think so, and the count evens at 1-1. Braves shade Richards toward left field, though he's a left-hand hitter. Every time I see Gene Richards, I think of that play with Terry Harper in Atlanta back in '82 that wound up a home run. Uh-oh, it's 3 balls and a strike. O'Malley at first, 1 out. It's high and 2 away. So the tying runs are aboard. And Chili Davis will hit for Williams. Here comes Joe Torre. I don't know if he's ready to make a change or whether he just wants to talk to Rick Naylor. He's given no indication yet. He talks first to Benedict. He's going to stay with him. But this is a man he must get to stay in the game, almost certainly. Davis at .294 for the year, .311 as a left-hand hitter, and that's the way he'll bat here. He has 12 homers. He can hurt you. 37 RBI. He started in right field last night and wore the collar 0 for 4. Did not get the ball out of the infield. O'Malley leads from second. Richards from first. That was the second walk of the day for Mailer. Ripped into right. On comes Claudel. He's got it for the second out. Boy, Davis really hit the daylights out of it. But right at Washington, 2 down. And a tough little cookie up there now, Dan Gladden. He's 1 for 2 with a stolen base and a sacrifice fly in this game.
Center fielder Dan Gladden.
He was 2 for 4 last night, a home run included. The home run by Brenly, incidentally the 7th given up by Mailer in 120 innings this year. 2 on, 2 out, a 4-2 Atlanta lead. Curve up the middle, base hit, and again it's 4-4. Royster dove trying to knock it down, but he could not. It's a 1-run game. Gladden does it again.
He stung it right up the middle, and you see Jerry gave the diving try, but the ball was passed. The Braves got 1 break in this inning. Chili Davis hit the ball as hard as you could hit it, but right at Claudel Washington. Joe Torre letting Mailer go after it now to Manny Trio, although I'm sure Garber is ready in the bullpen.
Trio has bounced to short twice, flied to left once. Just missed. 1 ball, no strike. He is really showing some confidence in Mailer here. Good breaking ball. 1-1 the count. Dusty Baker waits on deck. There are 2 out in the inning. Another good curveball. 1-2 the count. So Mailer ahead in the count. The runners lead. Here's the pitch. Tried to entice him into chasing a bad curveball. Trio laid off. It's 2-2. 4-8-1 for the Braves. 3-6-1 for the Giants. This is the 2-2 pitch. Just missed with a fastball. It's full. The runners will, of course, go with the 3-2 pitch. Got him with the off-speed curveball. Nice job of pitching by Rick Mailer to wriggle off the hook, but the Giants scored 2 on 3 hits. No errors, 2 left. We go to the 8th. It's a 1-run game. Atlanta 4, San Francisco 3. Donnie Moore sits down in the Atlanta bullpen.
Number 42. For the pitcher, Rick Mailer.
Mailer has singled, sacrificed, and grounded into a double play. He's hitting .351 for the year, so Lavelle isn't out of the woods yet. He'll pitch off the windup. Roofy down the line at third. A little low, 1 ball, no strikes. Back to the mound, that's that. Lavelle to first, and the inning is over. The leadoff double comes to nothing. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the 8th inning rolls around. Albert Hall enters the game to play left field for Atlanta, replacing Linares. And Rick Mailer has the heart of the giant order to work through here in the 8th inning. Baker, Leonard, and Thompson the first 3, then Bob Brenly if anybody gets aboard. Dusty is 0 for 3. Pop to first, bounce to short, pop to short. The right-hand hitter digs in. Low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Baker at 295 now on the year. Two and 0. Now Baker can do a little guessing. Nubbed it into right field, base hit. Hubbard will come up with the ball, but in the outfield, and Baker is aboard. He hit it off his thumbs, but that's the tying run aboard. And the bullpen will get busy once more. Donnie Moore will again get up and throw.
Left fielder, Jeff Leonard.
Here's Jeff Leonard. He has bounced to short all 3 times. He does it again. Perhaps the Braves can turn over the double play. Baker, with no better than average speed, runs at first. Headed for right, Hubbard gets there. Whoa, he boots it, throws to first, still gets the runner there. And he is upset with himself. He made a good play. He was whirling to get the leading lady and lost the ball. Fortunately, was able to recover and get at least 1 out.
And Hubby had a chance to get the force play easily, but he lost the ball coming up. And then he got the sure out. So the tying run at second base now, and a couple of pretty good hitters coming up. Scott Thompson, and then that guy Bob Brumley again.
Thompson is a contact hitter. In fact, they play him deeper in the outfield than you would expect them to. He hits a fly ball into short left. Here comes Hall, still running. It drops foul by an inch. And Danny Ozark is going to argue about that. He thought it was a fair ball. Here comes Frank Robinson. Just mentioned how deep the outfield was playing. The Braves very, very fortunate there. So now we'll be able to ask Fred Brocklander after the game which manager is the best bedside manner.
I'm sorry we don't have a replay on that. But that ball, if it landed foul, was just outside the line. And you saw Brocklander immediately go into a hop, skip, and a jump as the ball landed just foul. So, but boy, the Braves got some break right there.
And the count is 0-1 on top. Hall has moved in a couple of steps now in left field. The slider down and